So prior to the show, what we do with anybody who requests to be on the show, who sends us a DM, we send them a list of 10 questions. Mm-hmm. And I sent you a list of 10 questions asking age, location, occupation, relationship status, if you wanted to bring a friend, any dating stories, any dating topics you'd want to speak on, anything you disagree on, if you can make it to Santa Barbara, and your available dates to be on the show. 10 questions. Most people answer it without issue. They take about 5-10 minutes to answer it. Done and done. You did freak out on me a little bit in the DMs, and I just wanted to, I don't know if...
Freaking down on the DMs.
So I wanted to pull them up, and perhaps you can read them just so I can better understand the tone, because maybe I'm being charitable here, but there was a interesting tone to it. So maybe in your own words, it might come off differently.
Can you, like it sounded cocky, or?
Well, we'll just pull it up, Nick, if you can pull it up for us.
Delusional.
Oh, shoot.
So Nick, can you put us in the left corner? Could you read these for us?
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm very high functioning autistic, so sometimes my brain gets on my tangents and I can't really focus on anything else. Let me see if I can get it done right now while I have a minute. It's weird you guys are so meticulous about this. Like, why can't you just schedule me to come shoot this shit with you? You obviously know I'm legit and have tons of things to talk about, no matter how you want to lead the conversation. I feel like that is why you are not leveling up. You are being too legalistic about things, and you need to learn how to read vibration over words and rules of the manifested or visual reality. To be honest with you, okay, I was on a savant mission.
Just keep reading. Go ahead.
FYI.
Go ahead.
To be honest with you, it's annoying to me you would make a woman like me go down a list and answer certain questions. I'm above needing to answer your certain questions. Just book me on your fucking show and let's go. I'm really only looking to work with or give energy to people who are totally in alignment with me. And if that includes you, then you are not going to waste my time making me answer some little stupid baby bitch list of questions that is made for other people who are clueless. You would be able to read my vibration and know that I am exempt from all this shit. And if you can't do that, then I don't really want on your show. Now, do I?
Wow.
Okay, I'm a spiritual person. I have my own spiritual business, and I read energy and tarot and all of that. But like, I mean, I'm sorry, that's just a mean message.
Oh, oops! I don't know why Tate came in. Go ahead.
That is just, I don't know. That's
pretty
mean.
crazy.
Well, I understand. I totally understand.
You got to speak into the mic first of all.
I totally understand that it sounded very harsh, but you have to understand how many DMs I get, how much I get approached by.
But hold on. We did not DM you. You DM'd us.
I know. Correct.
I think most of you here, every single. Well, maybe. I'm not sure. I think most of you reached out to us. You all got the same questionnaire.
This is
you all
how
filled it out without any quarrel or issue.
Yeah.
It's your show.
Right?
And it's normal
And it took you
standard.
what? How long did it take you? 5 minutes?
Not even 5.
How long did it? 5 minutes?
2 minutes.
I think you.
It's like
filled-
1
minute, like.
Oh, like 3 hours.
Well, you sent a fuck ton of stuff. She sent.
I would have been like that.
That
I have a foot fetish place. So
that wall of text that you sent me.
I just assumed you wouldn't have me on.
Well, the wall of text that you sent me, you could have just been a good sport and answered the same time it took you to send that wall of text.
I guess because I am not a typically presented woman, and so I try to make it very clear you're not dealing with a typical person. Are you sure you want to engage with me? Because
I don't
you think you're better than any of
I
us.
think I'm very different, and it's not for everybody. So I kind of just come off harsh. And just so you know, I knew nothing about this podcast.
Then why are you saying he's not growing?
I didn't know who he was.
Then
I didn't know anybody.
How can you say that remark then if you don't even know who he is?
I know you don't understand.
So whatever podcast is, no.
I made it clear. I was on a savant.
4.3. Hold on.
Well, hang on. Guys, hang on.
It
Relax
doesn't
for a
work like
second.
yours.
We can only do one at a time. I did want to lead in just very quickly. Is it Desiree? Is that?
Yeah,
is that the
Desiree.
name? I've been
Desiree.
saying, yeah. Why do you have pictures of?
Wait,
your
wait, Andrew, hold on. Before you say what you're gonna say, it's not.
I have to cut in on that. I have to.
No,
Brian.
but can you?
The leveling up thing.
This
We
is
have to get
this
into
is
that.
super important because I got to know.
It was
I
just
But is it-
some
is it-
rampage
I'm
I was
reviewing the
on
Instagram.
mentally, and
Why do you
my
have
brain
pictures
gets
of
very
the
annoyed.
children?
Wait,
in the same Instagram, you have pictures of cum shots on your face.
Andrew, stop. I gotta make sure this is TOS.
It's TOS. Why do you have pictures of the kids in the same
Because I don't.
Instagram?
I
that
Here,
you have
don't.
wait.
cum on
Say
your
it more
face?
tactfully. Say it more tactfully, please.
Okay, why do you have pictures of your offspring in the same Instagram that you have these lewd pictures?
There
Because
we go.
I don't believe that human sexuality is anything to. It's not wrong in my book. There's nothing wrong with it. I celebrate sex and all the different forms and expressions of it, and that's not anything I personally believe is to. Now, it's not like my kids are
They're not consent.
in the room when I'm getting cum shot on or anything.
Would you
like
want to see
that.
pictures of your kids
Hold
like
on.
that?
No.
It wouldn't bother
Hold
me.
on.
It's human
We're
sexuality.
not going to talk. I don't want to talk about this. This is very.
Okay, that's fair.
This is on the fucking
But-
line here.
This is a border.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sure it is, but it's your show. I'll yield. But listen, lewds in the same.
I just don't consider it
in
lewd.
the same Instagram as that. Doesn't that seem horrifically off-putting?
I don't ascribe
Something's
to the
off.
same moral code that you do. I don't believe that there is anything wrong with however an adult person wants to express themselves sexually. And I would even go as far as to say adult doesn't even mean 18. To me, a person...
All right,
Don't
we'll let it
even
go
start.
there.
Don't
We'll
even
let it go
start going down that path.
All right, fine.
That
I'll let it
is
go there. I'll
scary.
mute the mic.
Yeah.
But I did want an answer to that.
That's crazy. That
Okay,
I
Short
didn't
answer
think
is
people
I
like
don't
you
think that
actually
there's anything
existed.
wrong
Stop.
with it. I don't have your same
cool.
morals.
So, kind of, I'm not going to really. I want to go back to the meta conversation we were having about the messages you sent. I was just a little confused there. I don't know. You mentioned that very early on in the episode, you wanted to bring down the egos of men. I mean, don't you think the message you sent me is a bit egotistical?
Very full of yourself.
It was. And I was really, to be honest with you, I am working on some massive humanitarian work right now that to me is the most important thing. So I
What
had
does
a
that
friend.
have to do with anything?
It's just because of the way that my brain works. When I get on a mission, you could say, that's all I really care
I
about.
thought your mission was to sell your
What?
pussy.
Okay, hold on. You're is this what's called obfuscating? Hold on, let me make sure I'm using that
But
word
I,
right.
I want to know
Obfuscating.
why you thought that his.
I
his
didn't know him.
podcast-
I didn't know who I was
Then why
sending
would
that
you
to.
say
I had no
that?
idea. That's I
Well,
flow
you're
with
hum-
it. I
you're-
just spoke my truth. That's how I felt in the moment.
But
It
it's
was
not
really
based on
annoying.
reality.
Your humanitarian
truth.
I just
mission is
assumed. I
irrelevant.
just assumed they're not gonna call me onto the show. To be honest, I just thought
you
I'm
requested
annoyed
to-
right now. I'm busy doing this other work. I got a million things going on. Why are they having me answer these questions? I'm a sex and relationship coach.
Aside
It's a
from
dating
the
show.
podcast,
Do they want me
do you
on or not?
expect everyone in the world to yield to you for every single
No,
problem
I'm
that
just
you
simply
have?
saying
Let's
if
go.
I'm not for you, I'm
Yeah.
not for you. That's all I'm saying.
Go
I'm
off,
simply
queen.
saying,
Go off, queen.
I feel very tired of being a people pleaser, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't
So
need
you have to
everybody to
be
like me. I don't
a
need everybody to
narcissist?
have me on their show. If you want to say it's narcissism, I'm okay with that.
Probably.
It's
But
mean.
It's fine, but I don't mind being mean. I get people mean to me all the time.
But it's how you
No, but
respond
it's
to
just,
it.
it was just like
And out of
And it was
and
not
the
personal.
reason.
It was
Look,
not personal.
no,
I didn't even know it was
I'm
going
not
to.
upset.
I didn't
Look,
know.
I wasn't
who it was
upset.
going
I was
to.
just like, I've maybe encountered, and we've had probably thousands. We've had over 1,000 people on the show. We've had probably multiple thousands of people send us DMs. Obviously, not everybody ends up scheduling. We don't always opt to schedule somebody, but I think I've had maybe one or two other women be divas over the whole. oh my God, it's 10 questions.
That's so weird to me.
It was very diva-like. And
it's just because, again, I was on a mission mentally, and it was like, have me on or don't have me on. I don't want to answer all these questions.
But you spent so much energy
You're
on
from
that.
Los Angeles, right?
But to me, that wasn't a lot of energy because
Answer
it
my
was
question.
my truth.
Answer my question. You're from LA, right?
No.
Los Angeles?
No.
Well, you said you're from San Bernardino. That's LA County, isn't it?
No,
Corona,
it's San Bernardino
IE.
County. And then
Okay.
Corona is Riverside
Did you
County.
did you ever have any ambitions to be an actress?
I mean, I did drama when I was a kid.
Have you ever been to a casting call?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Have you ever gone on a job interview?
Yes.
Did they require a resume?
It depends on the job.
Have you ever applied for a job that required a cover letter or a resume or a CV? Well, wait, isn't that the same thing as a? Well, okay.
Well,
Have you ever?
Same thing.
yes, but this was not a job. This was something
This is
that.
a gig.
But I didn't see it as a gig until you guys actually scheduled
Okay.
me. That
Well, how
was me
about-
showing you my personality. You can take it or leave it.
Right,
You don't have to
but-
schedule me.
But you're confused as to why we would ask these questions. So we asked very
I
basic
wasn't
biographical.
confused. It's not that I was confused. That was me popping off because I felt that answering a cookie cutter list of questions to a person like me who's extremely complex. So no matter how I answer these, that's not the full truth. I guess if you just want me to bullshit for the sake of bullshitting, and I just
no,
wasn't
but
straightforward
it was
question.
basic
He just
bio
didn't know
info,
you.
age, location, occupation, relationship
Yeah,
status.
asking your-
If you want to bring a friend, dating stories, dating topics, anything you disagree on, if you can make it to Santa Barbara and your available dates, I mean, those last two kind of necessary questions
I
to
said
ask.
that, but I said, and then as we went down in communication, I gave you obviously I'm here.
Well, yeah.
Obviously it worked out enough.
But so you told me I need to learn how to read
I
vibration.
wasn't saying it to you. I didn't
Well,
even know who I
you
was
said
speaking
you.
to. I was venting to an
Okay,
Instagram
fine,
DM. I didn't know a face. I've
It
never
doesn't
even
matter
seen
who.
the podcast.
It
I have
doesn't
no
matter
idea.
Who. Fine.
You have to understand how many
As-
dicks I
as
talk to a day. I talk to
Wait,
so
dicks?
many
We don't know
assholes
you,
a day.
though. Like, how are we
I
supposed to
have to do
expect this of
business
you?
constantly all day. I deal with agencies. I deal with booking this, booking that, flakes
just think
this,
you're
flakes that.
over here,
So
and
do
everything
I.
else is just we have
Well,
to bow
because
to
you guys have no
Solipsism, boys.
idea what I
Solipsism.
actually have to deal with.
You have no
Exactly,
idea
so
what
how do
they
you
have to
expect
deal
us
Yo,
with.
you don't know what I
I
gotta deal with.
only
You should see
reached
the
out
DMs,
because
bro.
a friend said you should go on this podcast.
Okay,
Again,
so-
I've never seen it. I didn't know anything about it, and
Me
so I
neither.
wasn't really taking it
Once you
seriously.
looked it
I
up,
just
did you
thought,
realize
fine,
that
if they
he
want
had
to-
Okay,
There's a
but-
difference between
millions
being
of
not taking it
Stop.
serious and being disrespectful, though.
I didn't give a shit about who I disrespected. What do you
Clearly.
care if I disrespect you? You don't even know me. You don't even like
Because
me.
he's
Well-
a human.
I
What about just
understand, but I
integrity and
understand. I
morals
get
and
it.
just
I
being
get it.
nice?
But I'm not here.
Where do
to
you get your moral
handhold
compass
everybody.
from?
Like
I don't go by morals.
just
Clearly.
your integrity.
I don't go by morals. I go by that was the mood I was in. I gave you my real self.
And that's
You
the
did not
problem
have to
with
book
people
me.
that don't have a foundation.
Would
They're
you rather
literally
me
just-
pretend like I was a cookie cutter little sweet thing and then get on here and be
Just
this?
to answer the
It's
I
just
like
to
to
answer
be
your
real.
questions.
I told you
you're
I
not
would see you
understanding.
next
I am a
Tuesday,
bitch.
but I'm not going to do that on here.
I am a bitch, and I'm not for most people. So I wanted to make
true.
sure that that was
She's not wrong.
clear.
She's not wrong.
I just have one last question for you on this particular topic. Are you on any sort because you believe that truth is a value? Can you just answer this truthfully?
Sure.
Are you on any sort of psychiatric drugs at all?
Like a pharmaceutical?
I think that was
Yeah.
already asked.
Yeah, that was already
No, I
asked.
asked her. I was
You
asking
asked
her.
me.
No,
Yeah.
oh, wait, did I?
Yeah, you asked me.
No,
and then she
no.
said
weed.
that.
She
I
said
don't
weed.
think I
said
don't
I
think
use
I don't
that-
think
I
I got
use that,
hang on. I don't think
marijuana.
I got an actual answer. Are you on any sort of SSRI?
No, I don't. No,
None?
no.
Okay.
Now, Nick, I don't know if you still have is it still like all set up or? Okay. You also said that, to be honest with you, it's annoying to me. You would make a woman like me go down a list and answer certain questions. I'm above needing to answer your certain questions. That's in the fourth message there. Just book me on your fucking show and let's go. Now, some of the people who tuned
Locker
in
room
late to
talk.
this,
It's called locker room talk.
well, it's interesting because you very harshly criticized me for.
It wasn't you again.
Well,
it
no,
wasn't
no.
you.
Hold on. Let me finish my point. So we had to restart the stream Miss over here who did a wardrobe change.
I'm sorry. It was really, really, really cool.
It's fine. So there was a nip slip. So we had to cut the stream. We lost all the viewership. We had to restart it. We lost about 10 minutes. I was frustrated. I don't recall precisely what I said to her. I might have said something rude to her out of frustration.
You said, shut the fuck up.
You did.
Okay, well.
It's okay. I
Sure.
understand. I would
Cool.
have
said
said
it.
the same thing.
I
would have said the same thing.
Now, you got on your high horse in your ivory tower, and you wanted to virtue signal, and you threatened to leave. You threatened to, if this is how you're gonna talk to women, I'm gonna leave, and she should come with me.
She included all of us.
And you attempted to pretty much get all the women to leave the show. Admittedly, I did say something rude to her, which I apologize to you. I was frustrated.
And I liked you because of that. I liked your apology.
But it's interesting to me that your conduct between us in the DMs.
Okay, I'll explain it.
Hold on. No. Hold on. It's interesting to me that it's okay for you to behave in that way. You said,
because it was non-personal. It was non-personal.
Hold on.
But it's
The way in which you were speaking to me was, I would argue, about on par in the way I spoke to her.
I would say much worse.
Yeah, way worse.
Her messages?
Yeah.
I agree. The only thing I have to say is that, again,
So who
I deal
makes
with
you
so many
who makes
fake,
you the
like,
arbiter
things coming at me
Okay, don't
that
care.
I didn't know that you were even a human. I don't know who I'm dealing with.
Well, you think we have an AI?
I have
messaging?
no idea.
But it's not. If it was Nick who was messaging you, I would be sitting here and saying the exact same thing. It's not about. If it was Madison, it does not matter. It would have been an agent, a representative of the whatever podcast, and it is me who handles all the guest booking.
I get it.
But I don't. It's not me. Like, you didn't know who you were messaging it to. It's kind of irrelevant.
Regardless,
It doesn't matter if it was me or Maddie or Nick, or if we were paying $10.
I deal with people who
Don't
are
care.
not a human representation.
Don't
They're
care.
just like a bot, basically.
Don't care, but I find it
lot.
interesting that you were virtue signaling at the beginning of the show.
And it's because I could feel her as a human person.
She wasn't even that bothered.
So
I
just
don't know.
because you
Let me
can't
say
feel
something.
their emotions, it doesn't matter?
Yes, because I deal so much in the virtual world, and I'm so bullshitted constantly that I'm just very
You have no
harsh.
empathy. You have no true empathy for people.
I actually do, and I
She
know
wasn't
it's a
even
human
bothered.
for
You
example.
turned to her and said, "You're being abused."
That I ruined his podcast. But I truly
I just
appreciate you sticking up for me, but I also
just wanted to make sure that we were
I just took
clear.
10 minutes out of his podcast.
You wanted to make sure that we were clear.
I just wanted to make sure that it was clear.
that.
Let's not go there. With
But you
the
went
fuck
there
you.
before even getting on the
but
show.
again, I had no idea who I was speaking to.
Doesn't
I was
matter.
in my most.
It
I was,
doesn't matter.
You guys,
I
you
have
to
the
understand.
messages.
Okay. No, I know.
I have
but
the messages.
I was calculatingly being my most aggressive self because I get taken advantage of a lot.
That's
How
not
is it
very
taking
pathetic.
advantage of you to ask 10 questions?
No, I'm just saying.
No. Answer the question. How is it taking advantage of you to ask you 10 biographical questions?
Maybe
Because-
me
Hold
making
on,
a
hold
lot
on.
of
Let her answer. Let her
questions made
answer.
up for
Stop. Let her answer. Go ahead.
Because I just didn't feel like me answering those simple little questions were going to paint the accurate picture of who you were having on the show.
But do you think
And
there's a reason we asked those questions?
I do, but
Okay.
do you understand what I'm saying? I am not for everybody.
Do you have a
Clearly.
podcast
Well, I think-
that has
No,
millions
hold
of
on.
I think I do understand what you're saying, and let me kind of steel man the position. You felt like by answering those questions, it would have misrepresented
Yes,
what
correct.
it was that you were trying to get across, right?
Correct.
But the thing is that could it perhaps be cope on your behalf?
It was
that
not
you
the
were-
best
Wait,
way
Hang
that
on,
I
hang
said
on.
Let them
Let me
speak.
finish the question, please. Could it perhaps be cope on your behalf that you were terrified of answering those questions because you know to a reasonable standard that a person interpreting them may totally get the wrong idea of you, even though they're basic questions?
Well, no,
And
because
isn't
those
that
were
really
basic
cope
questions.
on you
It's easy.
and not on the podcast.
No, because listen, if you go down the list, it's very easy. I'm 38. I live in Corona. I am technically single or
then why
divorced.
so much cope?
Because again, I wanted to really, and I'm not justifying. I did do it I could have done it in a more polite way. You're right. I could have done it in a more.
So
but you guys, every
you were
time.
terrified that the answers.
No, I was
would perhaps
terrified.
be
I was
too
terrified of
revealing,
this.
right?
I was terrified that I would come to a situation where this isn't really my
You're completely
thing.
gaslighting right now.
Huh? Well, no, hang on. Listen,
No,
I'm not going to accuse her of gaslighting. I actually do want her answer to the question. From my perspective, what it appears to be, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're giving basic answers to the question and kind of the cope, or what I would consider cope, is, I'm afraid that you're going to get the wrong picture of me. Okay, that's fair.
Yes.
There could be a way in which questions are presented where we could get the wrong interpretation
It
or
happens to me a
presentation
lot.
hang on, of who you are as a whole. I agree that that's true. But doesn't it kind of ratify Brian's position here that in DMs, you were ultimately very, very, very aggressive?
I was.
Almost like you were trying to obfuscate from what those questions meant.
Because I live in a world of sharks. And sometimes I'm in a mood, I'm dealing with freaking law cases and all these things. And judge me however you want to judge me. It's fine.
Law cases?
With the ex-husband, he beat me. I have to press charges in the whole situation.
Yeah, but why would
You're
that
a
have
victim.
anything to do with a podcast?
I'm not
That's
saying
weird.
I'm a victim. I'm just saying as
So-
a human being,
so-
some days I get a little rattled.
So
and I'm
why
a little,
couldn't
get
you
away from me.
extend that same courtesy to me when I was a little sharp with her? Instead, you wanted to put your foot down,
Because
be
I
the
didn't
language
feel
police.
safe. I honestly-
you
I
didn't
didn't feel safe.
I was about to go over there and just.
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
I was gonna go over there and just.
It's
and just-
emotional safety. I didn't feel emotionally safe.
What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Emotionally
All
safe?
buzzwords just to get out of taking responsibility.
It gave her the
Yeah,
ick.
but I mean honestly, I want to know.
I mean, I guess
what
that's a
does
good way to say
mean
it.
When you say to Brian, answering your question doesn't make me feel emotionally safe.
No.
What
When
the
he
hell
said
does that
fuck,
even
when
mean?
he had the comment to her, that's when I didn't feel emotionally safe. When he said fuck and I engaged and I, as you described it, I was virtue signaling, you said. It's because it triggered me to be like, oh shit, this is what I was afraid of. I'm not safe here. That's why I tried to give them
wait, you
the
mean-
most
okay,
bitch,
hang on. I
ridiculous
just
part
wanna
of
make sure I'm
myself, so I
clear.
didn't even have to go.
Hang on, you mean at the beginning of the podcast when I pointed out that there could be something which was potentially detrimental to everything that this man has worked for, and so he was frustrated in the moment, and maybe he said something out of turn or untowards. But if I remember correctly, and I was in the back room listening, I do that. The gal who this was directed to said, no big deal. Who are you to come in and advocate on her behalf and say, wait, she's way in the wrong, right? Or this type of thing. That's not really your concern. Who are you to come in and say and make this arbitrary judgment that a person who says something in frustration in regards to their entirety of their livelihood, which could be at stake, that they're in the wrong when the person they said it to was forgiving instantly? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah.
I do appreciate her sticking up for me, but I do 100%.
And I think that that's totally appropriate.
Understand where
Listen,
he was coming
I
from.
think that I think that's totally appropriate.
And
I understand.
I did
but in the heat of the
understand.
moment, she said, no worries, I'm not even concerned about it. You, on the other hand, made a big deal out of it.
Because I'm the person that all
Huge,
these
hang on,
women
huge
come
deal out of
to
it.
for help
But
after
who
they
are you to do that? Who are you to do that?
I'm sorry,
Wait,
it's
you're-
just where I'm at in
hold on.
life and the
I
work
want
that
her
I
to
do, and I deal with the traumas. Everybody comes and
Hold on.
brings me
I
all
want
of
you to
these
finish.
traumas
I-
that they never had restitution for. And
I
it's
want
things
you-
like that
That
she
is
might say
not
it's
your
okay.
place.
She's gonna fawn. She's gonna fawn in the moment.
Who
Okay,
made
she's
you
not
the
weak.
arbiter
It's okay.
She's not
of
weak.
that?
You're saying she's weak. She's,
I'm not saying that. I'm
Yeah,
simply
you're
saying
She's
literally
mature
saying that
and
she's less
self-aware
than you.
and just saying, let's move on.
And
It's
as
business.
as you saw, we were all able to kind of work through it.
We
You
were all
apologized. We
acknowledged.
took
You
it down
had
a
to-
notch.
to kind of.
But
You-
we took it
You
down
have
a
to try
notch.
to calm you
I
down.
was friendly with you. I
hang on,
said I
hang on, hang on.
appreciate
You're fibbing.
your.
Hang on, you're fibbing. And here I can prove it. You said behind the scenes that you wanted revenge, that you wanted to get some gitsy backsies,
Yep.
and that Brian didn't know who he was fucking with. That's what you actually said
Oh,
behind the
I didn't hear
scenes.
that.
Isn't that true?
I didn't know
Yes,
that
yeah, it
either.
is true.
Do you want to? Yes. Do you
Yes.
want to hear the recording? Because I recorded it.
I mean,
I'm
you
behind the
literally
scenes
stood there
too.
and were
You
whispering
were
back
you
and
said
forth.
he
dealing with a
deserved. He
triggered
deserved.
woman who-
Hang on. You said he deserved some revenge, some restitution, and that you were
I
going
didn't know
to
the
get
guy
him.
yet.
That's
I didn't
what
know
you
he was
actually
gonna-
said.
I didn't know the guy yet.
I didn't
It's a
hear- I
woman
didn't hear
being
that.
triggered.
But I
You
was
have to
behind the
understand,
scenes.
I have been abused
Oh,
a
was I?
lot.
Wait,
so there's certain
but did I
triggering
abuse
things.
you?
No, but I'm just gonna.
Did I abuse
She
her?
turned to her and was like, "This is abuse."
Yeah.
But well, it was
She's
verbal
chilling.
abuse. I
Wait,
mean, that was verbal.
Going back
abuse.
to what Andrew said, though, what specifically, if you guys can recall, what did she say?
that.
Well, here, let
Oh, go ahead.
Andrew help because I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Because because me being in the background, sometimes I hit record and I have all of this recorded.
We have it too.
Here's what she actually said. She said that she ain't gonna put up with none of this shit from these motherfuckers.
Yeah, she did say
And that they better know their fucking place, and that she's gonna get revenge if necessary. That's what she actually said. Am I
Toxic
lying?
femininity.
Go ahead, call me a liar.
You have to understand from my perspective. Again, I didn't know the man from
What does that have
anything.
to do with
What
anything?
does that matter?
Because
It's hard to say respect.
I'm going off of my experience in life with men.
And why include us? Like we can leave right
Okay,
now.
well,
Like
I'm sorry.
Why are you talking
I shouldn't.
for everybody?
I'm sorry. I just consider myself. I'm a mother. I'm a leader. I have daughters.
but we're
and there's
strong
women.
as well. We're not weak.
And
We
I
don't
didn't.
need you
I
to
didn't
talk
mean it.
for us.
I didn't.
You're
and
taking
I
on
apologize.
that masculine energy,
Wow.
though.
Yeah,
that
I guess
you're
I
actually
do.
talking
I
about
do.
Wait,
not wanting.
hold on.
I
This
take
could
on
be-
daddy energy if I feel like there's some vulnerable group here that isn't.
We're not
doesn't-
vulnerable. Okay.
We're-
Anyone self-aware that it's a whole podcast. That if that nip slip was there,
Well, I apologize.
he would. It can get
I
banned for life.
apologize for having empathy towards women and
Wow.
making sure
Is
that
that-
we all
wait,
knew
what
we
is
didn't
this called?
have
What is
to
that
be
called?
here.
What is she's it's like it's not really an apology. I'm sorry.
This is,
that I-
narcissistic
So this is a
apology.
complete and total red herring. Can you just speak to the fact that before you even knew the circumstance of the situation, you actually demanded that the girls get up and leave with you in order to get revenge? That's what you actually
crazy.
requested. Can you just tell Brian that that's what you actually did? Look at them shaking their head, because I'm right. You requested all of them get up and leave that podcast and leave him high and dry to get revenge. So why don't you get up and get the fuck out of this podcast, since you're the one who demanded that this happened to him? Why should we not instead make sure that
We don't gotta
happens to
kick her.
you?
We don't gotta kick her.
I mean,
No,
you
this is
definitely
fun,
can,
though.
and you would be in the right. And I am sorry. I overreacted. I was triggered. Okay. I didn't know you from anybody. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, and I just never know how things are gonna go.
But you
You're
popped
mine.
off
You're
even with
definitely
just
the
random
problem.
questions.
I was.
Hold on.
No,
I got a
she's
couple
like-
more
she's like,
questions.
she's the
okay? I got
problem.
some more questions.
There's no way.
I got more questions.
Wait, do you have some more questions?
I do. I got a couple more questions. Not quite yet, Andrew. But I like the what's it called?
You're trying to be Italian.
I do
like
like
the,
that.
I just want to let you know.
I'll tell you this. I
In the
do
background,
appreciate a
she was
man who
trying to
puts me in
convince
my
the girls
place.
who were there at the table to get up and
I heard that
collectively
part.
walk out of the show
I heard
in
that
order to
part.
get revenge against you, because you had a fire at the mouth moment very quickly, because everything you had ever worked for perhaps could be in jeopardy.
Right.
And so you had
It
an
was
emotional outburst. How dare you?
extremely
She actually tried to convince the entire panel to get up and collectively walk out with her. Girls, if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying.
No, I mean, I
not
told her right
alone.
away. I said,
Yeah,
don't
they
include
listen.
me. I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
leaving.
We
They didn't
all
listen.
respectfully tried to calm her down and be like,
No,
okay,
yeah.
let's just stay quiet, figure this shit out.
And I
she was
did.
No, you kept yapping. You literally
yapping.
went on bantering, or
Well,
like
I need a
for
minute.
like.
I need a minute. Once I get that triggered, I need a minute to calm
I
down.
said, look, I said the rude thing or whatever. Then I was like, okay, time for action. Let me end the stream. We got to delete it. We got to get it all going. Everybody's here.
And you made me feel safe when you came back, and the way that you apologized, it felt very genuine. And to be honest, it really endeared me to you. It really endeared me to you. But I came
We're not
in
gonna
it
fuck.
kind of
I'm
with this guard.
It ain't happening. It ain't happening.
But
I
what
mean,
about the messages? I just can't get.
The
What triggered?
messages
What
were
triggered
very
you?
harsh.
I can't get over that.
Wait,
They were
That's
very
so
harsh. They
crazy
were
to
very-
me.
Wait.
It's
This could be. This could sort of be like a. And I don't know if this is using the Lord's name in vain, but a come to God moment here. So
Yeah.
now
that's
it's
not using
very rare, like me and Andrew, we constantly get labeled as toxic and abrasive and
No, I don't
well,
think
no,
you
no, no.
are.
Let me finish my point. And typically, it's very rare. I don't know if it's ever happened like this. Now, Andrew took shots at some of the women, saying they don't look like Scarlett Johansson. I was gone for a bit of that. Every woman here has turned against you.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you. Do you frequently find yourself in conflict with people?
No, to be honest,
Really?
because I try to kind of weed out my relationships and him.
Stop the cap.
You're telling me your life isn't full of constant interpersonal conflict?
I mean, I'm an entrepreneur. I run into
Not answering my question.
challenges,
But so
No, I think I have a
the
pretty
whole
peaceful life,
even
to be
though
honest.
so the whole panel has turned against you.